Hey guys, welcome back to CLOCKWISE Crypto. Hope you guys are moving forward in everything that you do. Diving right into a market update, guys. Cardano in the news again, making big waves. Let's dive right in. I know it's been a minute. We're here. Let's dive in. So taking a look here at Cardano. Cardano found our midnight application that changes lives of billions. So talking about this airdrop that he's saying is going to be airdropped to at least 35 million wallets. So let's dive right into it here. So Cardano's midnight to power privacy in Brave's ecosystem. Hoskins said Cardano Midnight Zero Knowledge platform could support Brave ads, Brave VPN. He also noted privacy-focused web browser could earn from integrating these two into the its business model, right? And so he also said Brave could earn from the basic attention token ecosystem as ads can prove a major deal. Additionally, the VPN component involves the subscription model. So just to break that all up, keep it simple. So as we keep talking about midnight, we see the airdrop tokens that I was talking about to 37 million users with zero going to VCs. The airdrop will exclude venture capital allocations and focus entirely on users. The airdrop will distribute two tokens across 37 million users on 8 major blockchain networks. Okay. The first announced at Paris Blockchain Week in April, the Glacier drop aims to fairly seed the midnight ecosystem. Input Output is taking a different approach with its upcoming midnight airdrop. Instead of awarding insiders or venture capital firms, the project will focus entirely on users. This is huge. So Charles Hodson made the announcement confirming the upcoming Glacier drop will deliberately exclude VCs, opting instead for a broad user-centric distribution of the two tokens, Night, which is the governance token, and Dust, a privacy transaction token. This is huge, guys. This is huge. This is really showing the purpose, mission, and vision behind Cardano, right? All the decisions that are made for the people when they easily could be like other projects, quote unquote Ethereum, where you have them essentially making decisions or have made decisions within the best interest of the few. Where here you're seeing Input Output, which is the build and the company behind currently Cardano. You're seeing them make decisions based on the masses, based on the people. So you guys wondering, what is Midnight? Midnight is a privacy-focused sidechain being developed by Input Output, the parent company behind Cardano. First unveiled in late 2023, the project is designed to enable secure, compliant interactions between users and organizations on-chain without sacrificing privacy. Currently in testnet, the Midnight blockchain is expected to go live mainnet by the end of 2025. It will use zero-knowledge proof ZKPs and other advanced techniques to protect user data, allowing parties to verify transactions, identities without revealing sensitive information. Guys, this is huge. So you see the dual tokens, Night and Dust, and how everything's going to work together. Huge news, guys. When we look at what Cardano is doing, Cardano continues to be a sleeper, guys, in my opinion. Everyone's talking about XRP. XRP is going to do great. XRP is going to do great, but there's others that are going to do great as well, and I believe Cardano is one of them. Next up here, Pareto launches synthetic dollar backed by private credit. Ultimately, they're saying here the goal is to replicate TradeFly's weakness, but to reimagine private credit with the transparency and efficiency of DeFi. Love what I'm seeing here. So private credit marketplace Pareto has introduced a new synthetic dollar aimed at linking institutional investors and DeFi opportunities, a move that highlights the expanding role of stablecoins in global finance. Institutional entry into real world asset credit market, which is really something that you haven't been seeing yet. Like, you haven't seen this yet. Okay. So the fact that you haven't seen anything like this yet, when it comes to really impacting the credit market, that hasn't been done before. You've seen the real world asset plays where people are talking about tokenizing real estate, which has mostly been all talk. I haven't seen it happen yet. right? I've seen it talked about, I've read papers about it, but haven't seen it executed yet. No one's even been discussing the credit opportunities there when we talk about real world asset credit markets. And what that is, guys, it's saying here this it's a segment of tokenization industry that has expanded rapidly over the past year, which, you know, really is they're saying the synthetic dollar gives institutional investors a regulated on-chain entry point utilizing real world asset credit markets, right? So private credit tokenization is something that really has not been talking about, but really be able to bring that on chain. They're saying it will enable real-time transparency, programmable risk management, and automated settlement while reducing counterparty risk and operational friction. So this is pretty cool. We haven't really heard, or, you know, everyone's so stuck on RWAs but haven't really talked about anything about private markets. So love what I'm seeing there, and excited to see how that plays into the growth of that shift in the financial markets as it shifts into crypto, as it shifts into blockchain tech. Next up here, expert bold prediction for XRP. We've been seeing this for probably about a month now. Like ever since actually, let me take that back. It's been over a month. Ever since XRP pumped at the end of last year, we've been hearing crazy predictions when it comes to XRP. Like I've heard, you know, the $529, $20, 5 to 10, 20, 50, like pretty much anything that's $20 or more we've heard. And even right here, we're saying a bold timeline for just hitting $9. XRP makes a renewed attempt to approach the $3 mark this past week. And an influencer, TMI, love him, had a conversation about XRP reaching $9. Specifically, he boldly asserted would break $9 by September. This is huge. And I feel bad only because there were a lot of people talking crazy about XRP saying it's dead. Right? A lot of people talking about XRP saying it's dead, and only for it to rise from the ashes. And the reason why, and I get why they thought it was dead, because when they won the SEC lawsuit, or just, you know, took a big victory with the decision of it being labeled not a security, it didn't explode in price. Just like crypto didn't explode as soon as Donald Trump went into office. Like Bitcoin didn't just go on a tear immediately after he stepped into office, like triggering a bull run. It just didn't happen. It sounded like it was a good thesis. It sounded good for sure, but it didn't happen. And that's the same reason why people dumped their XRP bags, because it didn't moon as soon as they got the victory. It took some time, boom, happened. Right? And you can see crypto's for the long haul. Like you have to have kind of some foresight and long-term approach when you're talking about crypto. So $9 XRP is not out of the picture. I personally think XRP is going to be one of those where it's going to go like, I want to say, I wouldn't be surprised. Let me just say this. I wouldn't be surprised if XRP cleared $100 one day. Right? I'm not going to say XRP $100 by September. I'm not going to say that. But XRP seems like one of those bags where you'll be good just holding at least just based off of all the information we have, holding XRP during President Donald Trump's presidency, seeing that Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, was having meals with XRP, Ripple having meals with President Donald Trump, doesn't seem like a bad idea to hold the project, at least during his presidency. Does not seem like a bad idea. He's plugged in. Brad Garlinghouse is plugged in for sure. So, and the number of institutions that have come out ever since the dust has settled, not when they needed them, they waited till the dust settled, which is fine. Business is business. Okay. Waited for the dust to settle with the SEC, only to open the floodgates now. So honestly, like near term, I think $10 to $20 is fair. Near term. Long term, I think XRP, if you hold it through the presidency, I definitely think $50 to $100 could happen. Like I'm not opposed to saying that. I definitely think sky's the limit right now for XRP, and I don't think you're too late, but I do think those that dumped, I would have a hard time buying XRP at these prices because I accumulated so much under 50 cents, like at 20 cents, 50 cents, even I think as low as 10 cents, right? I would have a hard time. I've been holding XRP for years. I would have a hard time buying at these prices, me personally. But if I'm just getting into the markets, I definitely think there's still upside. I definitely think there's still upside for sure. The stars are aligned for XRP. Looking at the markets here, we see Bitcoin clearing, making a new all-time high. We see here spiked up to 109, but mostly stayed around 107 and heading up that way. So if we see just these pullbacks that are happening, we see here, we look at the pullbacks, we can see that a ton of opportunity when it comes to just playing the breakouts, guys. Like playing the breakouts. You see here, we had a bit of a pullback here. If you go on the lower time frames, it'll look a little bit better. Let's go to the 4 hour. You see these pullbacks, guys, right? Just pullbacks only to break. Even here, a pullback only to break, right? So you're seeing these pullbacks happen and new highs are being made. So you can kind of trade that and utilize that as an entry point. Like even right here, most recently, you see the pullback. We got the two wicks right here. And if it breaks below, that's an indicator, you know, to break out, to get out. But the plays are, you know, make new highs and break up and continue to go higher, right? So that's what we're looking like when it comes to some TA. I know you guys like the TA. That's what it's looking like with Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is killing it right now, and I think we are in phase 2 only because you look at Ethereum. Ethereum's done pretty well, right? It's done pretty well over the past month. If you look at the month, up 56%. If you go to Bitcoin, you look at the month, it's starting to outperform Bitcoin. That's a trigger. That's a trigger to confirm that we are in phase 2. No matter what anyone else says, we're in phase 2, guys. Like, don't mess it up. We're in phase 2. All right. So the next stop is to see these low caps to start making new all-time highs. That's what we're waiting for to see when it comes to alt season. That's what we're waiting for. We discussed this a little bit in the previous video, and I do believe that that's coming. Ethereum's proven where we're at by far. Ethereum's done great. Despite everyone saying Ethereum's dead, guys, Ethereum should reach 10 to 20K. I would say 10 to 15 is my target. 10 to 20K would be great as it continues to, launch these upgrades and also continues to pivot for scale. So hope you guys got some value out of this video. Keep moving forward in everything that you do. We'll see you soon.